台视频道邀请到美国哥伦比亚的大学政治系教授黎安友，针对台美中议题进行深度谈话。黎安友就提到，第一岛链并非过时的战略思维，在战争爆发时，第一岛链还是能够有效的防止中国投射海军战力。黎安友认为，台积电在川普政府压力之下赴美设厂，对台湾晶片实力其实影响有限。因为半导体供应链在台湾扎根多年，川普要在任期内原封不动搬到美国，恐怕是不容易。而对于中国犯台威胁，台湾如何自处，他也引述了各方的看法，认为台湾恐怕要迎合川普，增加国防开支，并且要延长役期。最后，他也提到了哥伦比亚大学将会开设台湾中心，加强美国学界对台湾的重视。
So first of all, I think that Taiwan's strategic importance, the most important strategic importance is geopolitical. That is the first island chain, 第一岛链. And that if China controls Taiwan, then they control beyond Taiwan, the Philippine Sea. And their huge navy, which is bigger than the American Navy, can go to the Pacific Ocean, go to San Diego, go to California, go to every place in the world. And when they no longer have to prepare for a war over Taiwan, they have all of these military assets that they can use to exert influence everywhere else in the world. So TSMC is an important strategic asset, but it's the number two. Number one is the geopolitical, geostrategic asset of Taiwan as what was called an unsinkable aircraft carrier, but now as a projection of Chinese naval influence. I think it's important because China has a huge navy, the biggest navy in the world, and they're not a missile. They have to sail on the water, and they have to get out into the Philippine Sea and the Pacific Ocean, and now they can because it's peacetime. But if there's a crisis, Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, Indonesia, the Straits of Malacca can be closed. The Indian Ocean can become difficult for China to transit. The Pacific Ocean can be difficult for China's Navy. So the Navy is important. Missiles are important, but the Navy is also important. So then with respect to TSMC, of course, this is a very technical topic, which I don't understand too well, but I think transferring putting $100 or $200 billion into Arizona is just sort of I don't know what percent of TSMC's production capacity that would be, and I understand it's not the most advanced chips either, but it's just a portion of the whole TSMC operation. We don't know if it's going to succeed. I mean, so labor conditions and living conditions in Arizona are different. American factories are not necessarily as efficient. Of course, in Arizona, you have plenty of electricity and plenty of water. So what that does, I think, is to give face to Trump. So as I said before, Trump wants face. He wants money. He wants to be treated like a big shot. He likes to say, look, I got you these factories. But you still have in Taiwan a gigantic production capacity and an ecosystem of fabs, of engineers, of research units, of suppliers of different kinds of parts and different kinds of technologies. It's a huge, as I understand it, a huge kind of ecosystem that you can't move very fast. It's hard to move it. You can't just pick it up and take it away. And it's still in Taiwan that the most advanced chips are being done. And Trump has only 4 years in office, supposedly. Even if he breaks the Constitution, he's 78 years old, so he's not going to be there forever. So I don't think that in the time that Trump has, that the entire TSMC operation can be picked up and moved to Arizona and successfully put down in Arizona and function at the level that TSMC does. So between your two theories, I guess it's more the second theory, that investing in the United States gets Trump's attention, but it doesn't destroy the Silicon Shield, in my opinion.
Do any of these years stand out to you as particularly concerning, or do you think they just signal just a threat or just speculative timelines?
I think, first of all, that Xi Jinping won't. So he is now putting a lot of pressure on Taiwan, military pressure, cognitive warfare, cyber warfare, trade, diplomatic pressure. So I think he's definitely going to keep doing that. But in terms of having a final solution to the Taiwan problem, I don't think he will do it by an artificial timeline. But he's going to do it when he thinks now is the right moment, when the U.S. is weak, when I'm pretty confident that I'm going to win. But he certainly wants to do it within his own term of office, and we don't know how long that will be. So Xi Jinping now is 71 or 72, probably still 71 years old. So he still has quite a lot of time to watch the situation and watch for the correct moment. So I don't believe in these deadline things. Okay, so what should Taiwan do? Yes. So because I'm not a citizen of Taiwan, and I'm not a politician, and I'm not a military expert, so I feel very diffident. I shouldn't say what Taiwan should do, but let me report what people say Taiwan should do. And so I think one thing Taiwan needs to do is to increase the resilience of the society, energy supply, water supply, civil defense, rice, strategic reserve, and all those things. It needs more resilience, which is very expensive and complicated. I think that Taiwan should not, it is too early to lose faith in Trump because Trump is unpredictable, and he may decide to support Taiwan. But in order for him to support Taiwan, he's going to need to see the defense budget go up. He's going to need to see more realistic training. He's going to need to see a longer, I'm sorry to say this, but a longer time for young Taiwanese to serve in the military for training and to develop a reserve force that's well trained. He's going to want to see Taiwan doing things like TSMC and investing and fixing. There's a trade deficit not only with China but with every place. So he would like to see attention paid by Taiwan to the issues he cares about. And then I think Taiwan should avoid triggering a crisis, and I know that's the existing policy anyway of the government, so that's okay. Those are the things I think that pretty much it's no secret, everybody says these are the things that Taiwan, and also continue to try to convince the European nations have evolved their position. Originally, they said the Taiwan issue is not part of Europe. But in recent years, France, Germany, Britain have understood that stability in the Taiwan Strait is also a security issue for Europe. Taiwan needs to continue to explain that to the Europeans, and of course, strengthen relations with Japan. If there is a war, if the U.S. does get involved in that war, the U.S. needs support from the Japanese and from the Koreans.
So recently, Columbia University is launching a project establishing Taiwan Center, right? Would you like to talk about this, why you have this idea, and what especially at this moment, Taiwan is really important, but how the Taiwan Center can help?
Well, we need to raise a considerable amount of funding in order to have this, but we have a vision of a Taiwan center that would be anchored in a professorship that would be based in the Weatherhead East Asian Institute, but would develop, well, we already have relations, but to promote Taiwan studies in all of the other units of the university, the law school, business school, engineering school, medical school, school of the arts, and so forth, to bring attention to Taiwan, all of the things about Taiwan, not only politics, not even chiefly politics necessarily, that's part of it, but art, engineering, business, trade relations, all the different aspects of Taiwanese society, to history, to let more people, I mean, the thing about a university is that we train students who go out into government, media, business, into education, and so we want those students to be more informed about Taiwan. Taiwan is not that well understood. I mean, a lot of people study China, but fewer people have a good solid knowledge of Taiwan and what it is and what it does. So that's the idea, is to bring more attention to Taiwan and educate undergraduate students and MA students and PhD students and journalism school students and so on.